Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, and I'm going back as far as 2016 or perhaps 2017, at a flight sim show that no longer exists at Cosford in the UK, we got our first glimpse of a flight sim, unlike any other. Development remained active till about 2020, then things died off, and by June 2022, development had ground to a halt and the project was put on indefinite hold, much to the dismay of many a flight simmer. Yes, you probably guessed it by now, I'm talking about DeadStick Bush Flight Simulator. Well, I've got some good news, it's being resurrected. Welcome to the SimHanger, my name's Mark, thanks very much for watching and let's get started.
To make DeadStick a reality, I've decided to hand ownership over to a new partner, Mythrite. These guys have already worked on DeadStick at my previous publisher, the Irregular Corporation, and so are already ahead of the game and are definitely the best people to be taking this forwards. To make DeadStick the best game it can be, Mythrite will be partnering with UK developers Spiral House, who've got me really excited about what the future of DeadStick can be. I know many of you will be wondering how involved I will be in the game, and the answer is I'm not going anywhere, this time in a more supportive role with Mythrite taking the lead.
So from early September 2024, Mythrite, a UK-based indie game developer, has picked up the development of DeadStick, and the development of the game seems to have been very active from that time, updating the coding to modern standards, as well as working on a wide variety of features and functions for this somewhat unique simulator. It's listed on Steam and you can get all the development updates, link in the notes below. So what exactly is DeadStick? Well, it's based in and around a large fictional island, and as the name suggests, you're a bush pilot. In addition to free flight, you can start a career mode. There's just you and your somewhat worn aircraft based loosely on the Cub, and you need to get a job to pay your way. What sort of jobs you can get will depend very much on what your aircraft is capable of, and as you earn money, well, you can upgrade your aircraft, thus allowing you to take on different and more lucrative jobs. But your progression is not just based on what aircraft you have, it's based very much on your reputation. And that's determined whether or not you're delivering on time and delivering undamaged parcels and packages. And also interestingly, you'll be judged on how you fly. Do a bad landing, for example, damage your aircraft, well, you're going to have to pay for the maintenance before you can take on your next job. There's a wide variety of different upgrades and mods you can do to the aircraft, and money permitting, well, you can pimp it to the nth degree. Oh, and if taking on a job, don't forget to take a tent with you, because if you get tired, well, you're going to have to pick a spot and land and camp overnight. Flying when you're overtired is not only dangerous, well, it could cost you money. That all sounds fine, but is this a game or is it a simulation? Well, I suppose the correct answer would be it's both, or whatever you want it to be. Chris Cheatham, the original developer, and as mentioned earlier has stayed on the team, was fastidious in terms of maintaining the core flying experience. The aircraft is divided up into sections with lift and drag calculated individually for each section, and also incorporates, I believe, the blade element theory, trying to maintain a real flying experience or as close as practical. Oh, I don't know where that plane's been, but it's going to need a good wash before you take on your next job. These are some early shots of the development of the island with the topographical information. As you can gather, the island's anything but flat, with night and day simulated and what looks like some fairly impressive lighting. These shots here are some of the more recent updates. The ground has now been populated with trees, snow on the mountains, and as you fly, well, pay attention to the METAR reports. You just never know what sort of weather you could encounter on your next trip. These are early in development shots, but some of the lighting looks absolutely stunning. One aspect of this sim that I really like is that damage is simulated, as shown at the beginning of this video, and the damage has consequences. For me, this adds a whole new element to flight simming. Just be careful taxiing out of the hangar and don't clip that wing. There's a fairly wide array of different customization options that apply, as well as upgrades, varying from different color resprays, upgrading your tires. You may need those big fat Tundra tires for some of the trips. And once you've bought them, well, of course you can keep them in the hangar until you need them. The DeadStick Discord has been rejuvenated and is now active again. And from some of the comments from the developers, it looks like this sim is being built with modders in mind so that third parties can add to it. In addition, of course, the developers, subject to the popularity or success of the sim itself, can expand the options by adding in additional islands, and so it goes on. I don't know if we're looking at a 2025 or 2026 release. I hope the former, and I've got no idea of the price. We'll have to wait on the developers for that type of information at some time in the future. I think it goes without saying that as the product is still in development, features may be added or subtracted from what I'm showing here. But personally, I feel there's definitely a place for a sim like this. I don't have any direct contact with the developers, but reverting back to comments and questions on their Discord, for some of us it's not all good news. No multiplayer is planned at time of launch, although it will be a consideration for the future, and a big disappointment for me personally is there's no VR support plan. To my mind, this is perfect for VR. Developers, take note. I'd love to know your thoughts on the sim. Is this something you're interested in? As always, thank you very much for joining me. Stay well, look after yourselves. I'll see you all again soon, and ciao for now.